On today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to replace your old bathroom exhaust fan with a brand new exhaust fan which has motion and humidity sensor capabilities. So stay tuned. The product that we'll be using today is the newer model from Panasonic, which is the Whisper Choice Auto. Now this has two flow options, which is the 80 CFM to 110 CFM, and it is one of the quietest out there in the market. It also has that motion sensor and humidity sensor. Now if you enjoy these kind of videos, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can always be in tune on DIYs, how-to videos, and product reviews on this channel. If you look inside the body, there is two knobs. One is for the humidity settings, which goes up to 80%, and there's also a timer right beside it. And also there's that switch where you can change it to 80 CFM to 110 CFM. Now this model is a lot bigger than the old one that we're going to be replacing. Now the very first thing that we need to do is take off the old exhaust fan. Do this by pulling down on the faceplate first. Should be that easy, and also make sure that your circuit breaker is turned off before working with any electrical wiring. Now this motor actually stopped working, that's why I'm changing this whole unit out, and as you can see, it is very old already. I took out the motor out first, and then we're gonna take off the casing which is attached to the joist by sets of screws. Now be very careful on what insulation you're working with. Make sure you test that it is not asbestos. Now this unit is a lot bigger than the old unit that we just took off, so I measured it. It's around 10 inches. That's why I'm gonna make this square opening a lot bigger. Now make sure that when you draw your square, make it a little bit bigger than what you actually measured. This will save you onto having to struggle to try to fit that piece in through the ceiling. Now the tool that I'm using here is a keyhole saw. Again, all the tools that I use and the unit that I use for this video, I'll leave it on the link down below to make it easier for you. Now what I did is just score the face of the drywall, and with that it just easily pops off just by applying pressure. Easily breaks off just like that. Now be very careful whenever you're using your box knife. So now that we got all that extra pieces out, I can finally take out the casing from the old exhaust fan off, and it is going to be attached into the main power. So I do have my voltage detector, and this is reading hot, so that means the power is still on. Go to your breaker and turn off the breaker from the main switch, and then as you can see, there's no more power feeding through this line. The line above it though is still live, so be very careful on surrounding wirings. Now easily just disconnect the wiring from the J-box of the exhaust fan case. Now one of the sides has a joist, but the other side doesn't have any support, so I'm going to be using this 17-inch 2x4 just so that I can have something to screw on the other side of the exhaust fan casing when I do install it. So what I'm using is just drywall screws to attach this so that it doesn't move when I attach the body. So before you actually install it up on the ceiling, what you're gonna need to do is take off the vent portion out. This is attached by a screw on the inside. Just easily take that off, and then take off that plug which attached to your motor up to the J-box. Just disconnect the J-box and the exhaust port out of the main box itself. This will make it easier for you. Now the J-box that is attached has these knockouts, one on the top, one on the side, so choose which one you want to take out. This one I decided to take the knockout at the very top. Take out your screwdriver and take out that screw that is attached to the J-box. Now pry that off, and this will give you access to your neutral, hot, and ground wiring. And here you can see your neutral, your hot wire, and your ground wire. Now inside that knockout, you're going to be attaching this NM cable connector. As you can see here, this also I'll leave on the link down below where I got this. Unscrew this and just pretty much attach it onto the opening. And make sure you open this up and just attach it just like that. Now with your power source, insert it through this NM connector. Tighten it down. Now I'm using my channel lock pliers to tighten down that nut. Now what I'm doing here is twisting each one of the wires to make it more solid. This will help me when I start putting it into my wire connectors. Now the wire connectors that I'll be using today are the Wagos. I love these because they're easy to use. All you have to do is flip them open, and then you can easily just insert the wire and close them just like that. It doesn't work like a wire nut where you have to twist it. This is a very clean wire connector, and I highly suggest using this. I'll leave it on the link down below. Now what you're going to do now is just connect your neutral wires. And then connect your ground wire. If you do end up taking a more than the insulation, make sure just you cut down the wire so that none of the wire is exposed whenever you close it from the wire connector. There you have it. Everything is connected. Close back the J-box. Again, I did everything here onto my table just so that I can show you a much clearer view of what the power is going through the J-box. Now you're going to be installing this second after you install the box first. Now the box, I'm inserting it through the hole first because if you insert the box and the exhaust together, it will not fit. Installing this with the screws provided. Now I am screwing it onto the joist and to that extra 2x4 that I just installed on the other side. Now going up into the attic, you can see that my old insulated vent duct did not reach my exit port from my exhaust fan. So what I ended up doing was I bought a longer and 4-inch insulated vent duct. Now this is I'm attaching with a 4-inch hose clamp. Now the reason why I had to orientate this exhaust fan the way like this very tight was because the previous owner, I guess, when they installed the power source, they made the wire very short, and this was the only way that I could orientate this exhaust fan so that it can fit and attach with the J-box and the wire. Now what I'm doing now is I am tightening the exhaust vent duct, and I'm going to be using this ventilation tape to attach onto the exhaust port going out to my roof. I'm going to be using a 4-inch hose clamp, and I'll be just going to be taping out the endings with these vent tape. Now you can see that it finally runs from the exhaust all the way out onto the roof. Now if you want to for extra security, use these cable ties to tighten things down just to make sure that it doesn't fall off over time. So the last thing that we're gonna do is attach the sensor onto the face. Easily just feed it through those locking mechanism right there and just close it down. Now if you found this video helpful, friends, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can always be in tune on DIY's product reviews on this channel. Again, this is a very easy install and it looks cleaner than before. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next episode.